What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. After taking a few days off due to some personal reasons, I'm back. We're going to try to get through this review. This is the night before Christmas, so we're going to talk about it, and I need your comments below, of course. Did you enjoy this movie? Did you have some fun with it? Let's talk about it. So a medieval English knight is magically transported to present day where he falls for a high school science teacher who is disillusioned by love. So this movie stars Vanessa Hudgens, who most everybody knows, and Josh Whitehouse from Alley Cats and Poldark. So that's who he is. And this film is directed by Monica Mitchell, who has directed such Hallmark movies as The Christmas Contract, To Christmas Joy, To Have and To Hold. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. This does not fit as much into the Netflix category of movies as it does into the Hallmark category of films. Now, they've been doing this over the last several years, bringing out movies, especially during the holidays, that don't necessarily feel like they belong on Netflix. I mean, I guess at this point, since they've been doing it for so long, it feels like it fits, right? But when they first started, it's like, why aren't these movies on Hallmark? Well, it's because they're trying to appeal to a similar yet different audience. The streaming audience is interesting because some of the times you're targeting those who don't necessarily go to the movies as much as others, and I'm sure plenty of you guys go to the movie theater all the times and watch the big blockbuster films or the more artistic independent movies, but a lot of people, my parents included, not as much now because I forced them to go to the movies, they weren't ones to go to the movies as much as, say, I was. So these are films that appeal to the audience of those that just want to sit back, relax, kind of turn their brain off and watch a movie that is very similar to other movies that have come before it. And I can say that about all of these Lifetime-esque, Hallmark-esque movies that drop on Netflix, it seems, every single December now. And last year we had one similar with Vanessa Hudgens. Now, I liked that film a bit more because it embraced the quirkiness and it didn't feel as much like one of those extremely generic love stories. I still didn't think it was great, but then we get to something like The Night Before Christmas, and we can see where the movie is going to end before the film even starts. Is Vanessa Hudgens likable? Yes. Is she sweet and cute, and does she really carry this story on her shoulders? For sure, because you're rooting for her. You want her to win. What is she going to win? You can figure it out. It's all about true love, man, and there's an exchange between her and her student earlier on in the film that kind of foreshadows what her mindset is going to be towards the end, and I think moments like that are kind of scattered and spread throughout this movie, and those are the moments that really take this film and really kind of brings it down a couple of notches, because it felt like every time I was kind of on board with the characters, and every time I was being swept away in the sweetness, because you can't help yourself with a movie like this. Occasionally, there will be a line or a conversation or an exchange, and you're just like, that was cute. What can I say? That was cute. And that's why I say this. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this film. They're going to like it for the quirkiness. They're going to like it for the sweetness. They're going to like it for the predictability. They're going to like it for the off-kilter charm that it's going to bring plenty of people. But as someone who has to critique a film and has to pull out its flaws and look at the script and the direction and all of these things that make movies work, I have to look at this as one that falls completely flat from those standards, from those standpoints. And once again, it's not me bringing anyone down who enjoy this film, because I know they're going to be there, and I know you're probably watching this right now, you're shaking your fist going, but when you have dialogue this expositional and you have a screenplay that just falls apart so quickly, and line delivery, and every time they do it, you're just like, why are you saying it like that in this unbelievable, ridiculous way? And it feels like you're reading a script. And there were so many of those throughout the movie. And then you have this medieval knight who gets transported into our time. And, at first he's like, wow, where am I? But then he starts to embrace it and accept it, and he's not really asking questions anymore, and he has to make a decision at the end where he's leaving a lot of people behind, and you're just like, dude, really? Like, it's not that big of a burden on you. He's just like, okay. And they steal jokes from movies where characters are out of place, such as Thor. There's even a moment in a restaurant where he basically does what Thor does, and he goes, another. And there are so many moments and times throughout this movie where I was just sitting and scratching my head going, could they not be a bit more unpredictable? Could they not do something a tad bit different? Because it falls into the category of every other movie that I've ever seen in this vein. in this genre. It is every other movie. You have a really sweet and talented cast. You have opportunities here to do something different. And of course, the time travel is going to be silly. And of course, you're going to have plenty of questions that aren't going to be hit upon because this is a love story. It's basically a Hallmark movie. And then it's going to be the most predictable movie you watch all year. But it's not necessarily about the destination. With a film like this, it's about the journey. And I just found the screenplay to be completely and utterly flat, with moments, for sure, that are going to appeal to many of people, sweet moments, and it really does have good intentions. And honestly, guys, I know this is a Christmas film. I don't mean to sound like a Grinch. And comparing it to other movies in this vein, it's not the worst thing that I've seen because of how sweet the story is and how emotional and touching a few of the moments are towards the end that kind of take the bad script, lift it up a few notches, and it will allow many to look past the flaws. I think a lot of this has to do with Vanessa Hudgens, who I think fits perfectly in these kinds of movies. She's just so charming and likable and cute and sweet, and when you pair her with someone like this who, Winehouse did as good as he possibly could have done. He himself was believable in the role. That did not give him a lot to do, and you have your oohs and ahs towards the end, and I don't think this is a horrible film, especially for the intended audience. I think they're absolutely going to love it. I thought it was fine for what it was. I'm still going to go 46% for The Night Before Christmas, but for those who expect a movie like this and want a movie like this, you're going to get exactly what you wanted in the first place. So let me know in the comment section. I'm sure you will. And hey, if you enjoyed this Netflix review and you want more like it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and I will be doing more things like this. Thank you so much for sticking with me over the last week. It's been a rough one, but we're here, we're doing this, and we have a Frozen 2 review coming at you guys tonight, followed by plenty more Friday and Saturday. You're truly the best. I'll see you soon.